In every sport, a generational talent emerges that not only transforms the game, but elevates everyone around them, like a rising tide lifting all boats. In swimming, it was Michael Phelps. In boxing, Muhammad Ali. In baseball, Babe Ruth rewrote history. Women's MMA saw Ronda Rousey dominate, while Serena Williams reshaped tennis. During the NBA's lowest moments, when the league was struggling, it was Larry Bird and Magic Johnson who reignited it, followed by Michael Jordan, who turned the NBA from a league on the brink in the 1970s to a global powerhouse by the 90s.
Like pebbles into a well.
My goodness. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it.
That's the power of generational talents, their ability to change everything around them. Now, we all know the WNBA has faced challenges for decades, often seen as a league in turmoil. Despite their best efforts, nothing seemed to turn things around, as the league has continued to struggle, losing millions year after year without a clear path to reverse the trend.
We're asking for, a similar, not even the same shared revenue, but a similar percentage of revenue shared.
Then, as if their long-awaited hopes had finally been fulfilled, Caitlin Clark emerged.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark.
Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark.
As a dedicated NBA fan for nearly 2 decades, I can honestly say I've never seen anyone quite like her. The NBA was already a powerhouse when I became a superfan, so I never witnessed one player having such an immense impact on a league. She single-handedly shifted the entire perception of a sports organization in a way I've never seen before.
I'm going to go on the record and say she's the best female collegiate player ever.
Now, here's where it gets interesting for us, but potentially disastrous for the WNBA. In the NBA, there's a term called fumbling the bag. We saw it when Nerlens Noel turned down a $70 million contract only to settle for $4 million, and when Dennis Schroeder rejected an $80 million deal, only to end up with $6 million. Now, it seems like the WNBA is on the verge of fumbling their golden opportunity with Caitlin Clark.
Hey, LeBron, you're 100% right on these girls hating on Caitlin Clark. Y'all petty girls.
If they're not careful, we could very well see Caitlin playing in another league. If that happens, the WNBA risks slipping back into the punchline it has been for nearly 2 decades.
Stop being petty, all you women out there. She got y'all ass charters. She bringing all y'all this money to the table, but y'all being petty like dudes.
Basketball is filled with stories of players who, feeling undervalued, decided to walk away from their teams. Think of Scottie Pippen and the Chicago Bulls, Jimmy Butler and the Minnesota Timberwolves, Kyrie Irving and the Cleveland Cavaliers, or most recently, Klay Thompson and the Golden State Warriors. Well, not too long ago, the WNBA made a baffling move with Caitlin Clark, and if I were her, I'd be feeling pretty underappreciated right now. When the 2024 regular season ended, the award winners seemed obvious. MVP, Rookie of the Year, 6th Woman, Defensive Player of the Year. The whole lineup. All that was left was the official announcement. On September 22nd, the WNBA named Aya Wilson as MVP, a no-brainer. Naturally, with Caitlin Clark being the biggest thing to happen to the WNBA, her Rookie of the Year recognition seemed like it would follow next. But instead, on September 25th, they announced the Most Improved Player. No big deal. Caitlin's announcement was still expected any moment, right? Then, on September 27th, rather than announcing Caitlin, they rolled out a list of records broken during the 2024 season. I couldn't help but laugh. What were they thinking? But still, no worries. Surely Caitlin's moment was around the corner. But then, September 29th came, and instead of Caitlin, they revealed the Defensive Player of the Year. Again, no mention of Caitlin. Later that day, the WNBA made another announcement. This had to be it, right? Nope. It was Cheryl Reeve being named Coach and Executive of the Year. At this point, things were getting absurd. Caitlin Clark, the biggest sensation the WNBA had ever seen, had yet to be acknowledged, even though she was head and shoulders above every other rookie. But it didn't stop there. On September 30th, they announced the expansion draft for the 13th franchise, the Golden State Valkyries. Fans everywhere were asking, where in the world is Caitlin Clark? On October 2nd, yet another press release dropped, this time for the Kim Perot Sportsmanship Award. Unbelievable. They were announcing sportsmanship awards before recognizing Caitlin, the league's golden girl. Fans were restless, with comments flooding in. Why haven't you congratulated Caitlin Clark on Rookie of the Year yet? Are you sending her award by cash on delivery, wrapped in fish paper? Finally, on October 3rd, almost 2 weeks after the MVP announcement, Caitlin Clark was named Rookie of the Year. But it wasn't the triumphant moment we expected. Something felt off. Caitlin wasn't just the best rookie of the 2024 class. She was literally in the MVP conversation. She shattered records and dragged her team from the bottom of the standings into playoff contention. Yet, the WNBA committed a major blunder by denying her a unanimous Rookie of the Year vote, handing one vote to Angel Reese instead.
Should have been unanimous.
Should have been. I agree. It should have been unanimous.
Caitlin Clark received 66 votes, while Angel, half my rebounds are from my own misses, Reese got just one vote, spoiling what could have been a unanimous Rookie of the Year win for Caitlin. Honestly, it felt like a huge slap in the face. Just look at the comparison between the two. Caitlin dominated Angel in almost every possible way. In the regular season matchups, Caitlin beat Angel 3-1. Caitlin led her team to a third-place finish in the conference, while Angel's team ended up dead last. And when you dive into the individual stats, the gap becomes even more ridiculous. Points per game? Caitlin blows her out of the water. Assists? Caitlin. Steals? Caitlin. Field goal percentage, three-point percentage, free throw percentage, effective field goal percentage? Caitlin crushes Angel in every single one. The only stat Angel leads in is rebounds. And even that's skewed since she grabs a lot of her own misses and stays in late to pad her stats. Caitlin Clark absolutely dominated Angel Reese in every meaningful way. But somehow, the WNBA still managed to fumble what should have been an obvious unanimous win for Caitlin. How in the world did the WNBA manage to rob Caitlin Clark of a unanimous Rookie of the Year award when the evidence is crystal clear? It's almost baffling. The stats, the wins, the sheer impact she had on the league. Everything pointed to her as the obvious choice. Yet, somehow, they still found a way to deny her the unanimous recognition she rightfully earned. It's as if they went out of their way to create controversy where none should exist. Here's what WNBA fans had to say about this. I really want to know who did the one vote, like what type of do you have to be? Give me a break, this should be unanimous, arguably the best rookie season of all time. On purpose, so wouldn't win unanimous jealousy is a bitter perfume. And here's one more fan comment that sum up what a lot of people are thinking about that one vote swoops is a POS.
Of her and her continue to keep her teammates involved and then also just her growth.
It's honestly wild that a league would do this to the one player who, in over 20 years of their existence, could actually pull them out of obscurity and into the spotlight. For the past decade, they've practically been begging for attention and funding at every turn. Yet here they are, mishandling the one person who could finally change their fortunes. It's almost unbelievable how they continue to fumble this golden opportunity.
I do feel like the pay gap would be something that, we could just take a donation around the NBA maybe.
They were so strapped for cash that Kyrie Irving had to step in and support them during the pandemic. Now, after how Caitlin Clark has been treated all year, the constant abuse on the court, the verbal assaults off it, and the passive-aggressive jabs from all sides, it's hard not to wonder what would happen if Caitlin Clark just decided to leave the WNBA. What if she finally got fed up with the cheap shots, the league's refusal to protect her, and all the non-basketball drama? Players like Gabby Williams just left the Seattle Storm to play in Europe, and even stars like Liz Cambage and Diana Taurasi took stints overseas for bigger paychecks. But what if Caitlin left not for the money, but because she was done with the disrespect and mistreatment?
I feel like I'm getting hammered.
Here's the reality the WNBA needs to understand. Caitlin Clark doesn't need the WNBA. The WNBA needs Caitlin Clark. In her very first playoff series, Game 1 alone drew in 1.8 million viewers, and Game 2 followed up with 1.2 million. To put that into perspective, the average viewership of just this first-round series has already surpassed the ratings of any WNBA finals in league history. That's how transformative Caitlin Clark has been for the league. What do you think would be the public reaction if Caitlin actually left the WNBA for another league?
Don't get it twisted. Don't get it. Caitlin Clark is the reason why a lot of great things is going to happen for the WNBA.
Honestly, with the way they've been treating her, saying things like the W is more than one player, leaving her off the Olympic team despite her being in the MVP conversation, and allowing players to physically target her without consequence. It would be hilarious to see how the league would react if their one golden ticket slipped away. Imagine the fallout if Caitlin Clark, the one player who's been carrying their spotlight, just walked away. It'd be a real wake-up call for a league that seems to be taking her for granted.
You make the call because of the betterment of the whole in the end. That is not compromising your integrity. That is business. And y'all are going to find that out.
It would actually be pretty funny, considering Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark's so-called biggest rival, has repeatedly claimed that people tune into the WNBA because of her. Yet, the numbers don't lie. Caitlin is the one breaking viewership records and bringing in new fans. If Caitlin walked away, it'd be interesting to see if Angel's claims hold up, or if the league would suddenly realize just how much they've relied on Clark to carry their visibility.
The reason why we watching women's basketball is not just because of one person, it's because of me too, and I want y'all to realize that.
Well, about what Angel said, let's be real. This is why we watch Caitlin Clark. Her unmatched skill set, the deep threes, her ability to break down defenses with pure basketball IQ and talent. Now, here's Angel Reese's game. Grabbing her own rebounds and taking 75% of her shots from within 10 feet, where she still manages to score less than 50% of the time. There's just no comparison. Caitlin's game is electric, and that's what keeps fans coming back. If Caitlin left the WNBA, the league would seriously regret it, and it would go down as one of the biggest fumbles in sports history. In business, when you have a golden egg, you're supposed to guard it with everything you've got and let it grow into a money-making machine. Instead, the WNBA is doing the opposite. They're letting her get attacked on the court, acting like they've done nothing wrong. And then, just to top it off, they play the victim. It's like they're willfully sabotaging their best chance at success.
Damn, what is going on here?
If you've made it this far and are enjoying the video, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on all notifications. We know your time is valuable, and we truly appreciate you spending it with us. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest and greatest in sports news and insights.